Hi, it's Deanne. A really fair question is, how long is this going to take? So here's what it's going to look like. If you've already received paperwork from me, then you can tell. The beginning part of the assessment is a lot of paperwork. Well, hey, that's really to be practical, right? Like, why pay me, whether it's virtual or in the office, to have me ask you a bunch of questions that I can see on paper? Then I want to see you to really dig deeper so that I can watch your nonverbals, see how you tell stories, watch how you interact, and that's going to help me really understand where we need to go. Like, what are the foundational pieces? Is this an educational thing? Do we need to shift some perspective? And that puts us into the next phase. So that assessment is typically about 4 hours. The next phase is about where we create the shift. And that really depends on what strategies you need, but for many couples, it's between 5 and 10 hours to create that shift. We know from neuroscientists that if you were to come in and just start talking about your topics, you are literally accessing the part of the brain that has no new strategies, right? It just loops in that same story. And so it's really important that we spend that 5 or 10 hours on shifting perspective or education or having a different foundation, so that when we start to bring up the topics in this third phase of really applying the strategies, that you get a different result. Okay, so really it's got to be intense. I find that when we do meditation, it's slow and methodical. When we do trauma work, it's very sensitive and walk through the depths of hell and show you the way out. But when it's couples work, we've got to do the longer periods, because when you start to open up a topic and then we start to apply the tools, and then the tools, you could use the tools perfectly, but there's some glitches, right? There's some missing information, or there's a nonverbal, like a pattern showing up, right? Or something that's sabotaging. And if we don't have the length of time to really stick with it and catch those things, you'll be applying these surface level tools and feeling even more helpless and desperate about your relationship. So we do the longer sessions, and for some people it's as little as 5 to 10 hours. But if you've got a history of trauma or some deep ruts, some unhealthy patterns between the two of you, then it may take a little longer, like 15 to 20, 25 hours. And really it's typical that the total amount of hours that you do are between 20 and 25. For most couples, it's when there's trauma or deeper history kind of things that it is on the longer side. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Like, I've got 25 years experience working with people, about 12 years specifically with couples, and my goal is to bring those tools and really help narrow things down for you about what is it that you specifically need, so that we can make some shift happen.